Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, family, we are excited today to fellowship with you all. Thank you to all who's hopped on, who's here to fellowship and talk about this deep topic, family. Now, this is one of our favorite topics. We love talking about this topic because, again, this is from our experience. And anytime that we can share our experiences, family, we love to come here and say, you know what? This is a warning message. This is a warning message to the body of believers. This is where Sister Abby and I come and say, brothers and sisters, look out. Brothers and sisters, beware. Because family, when it comes to this walk, you have to turn up the temperature. You have to be hot, family. Because if you are not hot, if you lukewarm, you're going to fall into that category of where you will say, guess what? Give us a king. Give us a king. Why? Because Yah's not enough. What Yah's done for me, it's not enough. And two things happen with that, family. Two things, we fall into kind of one or two categories. One, we either get, and this is Satan's tactics, family. This is his tactics of how he gets us. We fall into the category of we become complacent, or two, we become covetous. We covet things. And when we say covet, we're not talking about like in religion where we're like, oh, I want my neighbor's car. I want my neighbor's house. I want my neighbor's lifestyle. We're not talking about that type of covetous. That's what they talk about in religious, family. Even though sometimes we can fall into that trap. But we're talking about coveting as when we're in the truth. Oh, I want to be under this fellowship. And again, family, we love fellowship. Nothing is wrong with fellowship.
We believe in fellowship.
We love fellowship. But what we're saying is that you have to be aware. You have to be careful of what you jump into, what you listen to, what you are actually looking. Because if you're not looking at things from spiritual eyes, family, it could look good on the surface. It can look good on the surface, even though Yah is sending you warnings about what you're looking at. It's just that you're coveting that fellowship. You're coveting, oh, I want to be under this leader. Oh, I want to be under this ministry.
Or certain knowledge.
Right. I'm coveting, oh, this person has a certain knowledge that I don't have. But is that knowledge, is that fellowship, is that leader guided by the Ruach? That's the question we have to ask ourselves, family.
I was just saying that's a good question. When you say it, asking like, is that person being guided by the Ruach?
Right.
Because just because a person appears to be guided by the Ruach, I'm talking about by their external appearance, doesn't mean that they have the Ruach. And there's certain things that we have to pay attention to know if he does, or she, whatever, if they do or not.
Right.
And this is kind of like what we're going to be discussing. But what we're going to be talking about today is critical in the belief. Very critical, especially in the times we are living in. We are living in the last days. This is truly the last days. And this is not the same time like centuries ago when you heard your grandma or your mom say, oh, it's the last days.
Right.
And then 5 years come and it's like, the world's still here. Or like 10 years come, 15 years, oh, the world's still here. No. If you look around, you can clearly see that we are living in a Sodom and Gomorrah, and we are living in the last days. Sometimes I wake up and I say, wow, the world didn't blow up yet. Because everywhere you look,
you see crazy stuff happening.
Things that we see happening. And it's just very important because now, you know how they have a church almost, you could say, on every corner? Now it's a false prophet on every corner. False teachings on every corner.
Especially with the explosion of the internet. And what we're going to be talking about today, like we often say, our messages are never catered towards one person. When we do messages, it's because we see a flood of something that is going on or happening, or many questions that we have coming in. But it's never towards one in particular person. We have to say this. Yeah, and we're going to dive a little bit deep into that because it's family. It's like Sister Abigail was saying. It's deep, and a lot of stuff is going on. We're gonna touch on that in a little bit, but family, what we were just saying is, joining this fellowship. I want to be under this pastor or this leader. We get hot for those things. We get so hot for those things, but we get complacent for Yah. And what I mean by complacent, family, like, you know what? I'm in this truth, but I'm kind of lukewarm about it. You know what? I still got my house. I got my job. Got my title. That Yahuah thing, I kind of do that online. And the true stuff, I do that online. But outside of that, I'm just living my regular life.
Right.
I'm still kind of straddling the fence.
Right. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and we just, that's just lukewarm. That's just complacent, family. And then the scriptures tells us that, matter of fact, let's read that. Let's look at Matthew chapter 10, verse 33. Again, when we like that, when we have that mindset of complacency, really we're denying our Father. We're denying Yah, family. The scripture says, Matthew chapter 10, verse 33, but whoever denies me before men, him I will also deny before my Father who is in heaven. So we have to think about that. You want to say something?
Oh, no. I mean, this is really what he said. It's important for us to when it comes to our walk, to not be ashamed of the walk.
Right.
Because if we are ashamed of the walk, then it could get to the point to where we're denying Mashiach. We're denying Yah.
Right.
You know, we encounter people and we're afraid to stand up for what Yah has given us. Or we are ashamed to represent what Yah has given us. And if we ever feel some type of shame in our walk, then we have to go to Yah and ask Yahuwah for strength. Ask him to strengthen us. Ask him to give us, because he says the righteous, in the word it says the righteous are bold as a lion. This is what it says about the righteous. So it's telling us this is the nature of his children. We are bold as lions. And this is why even in the New Covenant scriptures and Revelations, Yahushua spoke of these things when he said that the lukewarm will not inherit the kingdom. So we definitely have to be hot in this walk. It's very, very important. You know why? Because we don't know if it's ever going to come a time when we have to, like that the banner you put up from time to time with those three brothers.
Right.
What's their name?
Meshach, Abednego, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Right. In the English names and stuff. But just like them, where we going to be told you got to bow down or else.
Yep.
And so then what we're going to do? If we already been conforming.
Exactly.
Or not standing up. Or not bold in our walk. What are we going to do then? And prayerfully, Yah gives us the opportunity that I pray this all the time, that we can all escape these times that's going to come upon the earth to test the earth. But the truth of the matter is we don't know what Yah is going to bring us through. We don't know what test that's going to come. And so we have to be prepared for those tests, because there's some things that is going to be coming in this world. Nobody knows exactly what, but we know that something is coming. And when it does, we have to be so strong in this walk, and definitely pray and ask Yah for strength to the point to where but when those times come and we're still here, Yah forbid, but if we are, we can stand firm in what Yah has given us and not lose hope, not lose faith, not become discouraged.
So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. That's all good stuff what you said. And family, what we're starting to realize, and we see it because we get the messages and we see the interaction online. Since 2020, family, again, we always say how long we've been in this walk and stuff, but what we're realizing is that since 2020, how so many people have come out of the church, family, so many people have come into this truth, and they're steadily coming in. What we're seeing is that really, there's not a lot of people who's been in this walk for a long time. And what we want to say is this, family, there's so much chaos and what Sister Abigail was saying, false prophets that's out right now. Again, we've been in this walk for over a decade, family, going on 14 years.
Yes, in the summertime. Summertime will be 14
and
years.
I want y'all to do something. If y'all like see some people that was in the truth and their channel's been up like over 10 years, y'all look at their videos from 10 years ago and 14 years ago. A lot of these people, that's when things were really popular. Like a lot of new people were, not a lot, a handful of people were coming into the truth. Mm-hmm. It's only recently when we saw floods and scores of people coming into the truth. This was, when we first came in, it was a...
I mean, they had people,
right,
but it wasn't to this extent as it is today.
Exactly. So a lot of the things that we're seeing, we're like, man, where is all this coming from? A lot of the like prophets, what Sister Abigail was saying, are not prophets, but teachers, whatever they want to call themselves. They are new on the scene, and we're hearing these messages. We're like, we never heard this before. Where is all this coming from? This is something new. All the different names, like a lot of the names we hear now, we never heard that before.
Right.
This is all new stuff. The different doctrines, pastors are still there. I mean, you don't see many that were there. Either their message changed when they first started. They're not teaching the same thing when they started. Some of them got off the internet altogether, or their channels are not as active. So a lot is going on within the truth community, family. So that's why we're coming here to say this is a warning. This is for you. You have to look out, because if you're not hot, like what we're saying, if you don't turn the temperature up on your walk, you're going to fall into the trap of one of these false prophets. You're going to say, give me a king, because I'm not steady, I'm not strong in my walk.
Right. And I want to say this, that this could apply to believers that are in the walk, and even people that are on the fence, who are not sure, who are looking in, or still in the Christianity. This could also apply to them too, some of the things we're going to be discussing. Because it's just very important to be on guard, because we're not saying they don't have any good people who are sharing truth. Right. We definitely want to make that clear. That's not what we're saying. We're just noticing that there's more now than ever. Yes. A lot of false prophets, and the reason being is because, remember too, it says in the last days Yahuwah is going to start waking up a lot of people. So this is what's happening. A lot of people are starting to wake up and come into this knowledge of truth and understanding. Hallelujah. Because that's, in the past they were in ignorance, but now Yahuwah, he's saying, remember he said in times past he winked at ignorance, but he was like, now I commend all people to repent and to come to the knowledge of truth. And so this is the times we're living in. And so I just wanted to state that a lot of people are coming into this truth, but just because people are, they speaking and they may be speaking the names, doesn't mean that these people are sent by Yah. You have to be able to discern and judge people according to the word, according to their fruit.
Exactly. Absolutely. And going back to what you said, it's a lot of people that's coming in. Family, this is since 2020, and now we're in 2024? A lot of people, that's considered, you're still a babe in this walk, family. So a lot of things, even though a lot of people may know a lot or here have spiritual gifts that others don't have and things like that, but that's still considered a babe in the faith, family. So that's why we have to point these things out. And again, new ones are coming each and every day. Right.
Right. And we want to say this too. When we talking to, we're not just talking about people who are saying the actual names that we're saying. Right. We're hearing, like Brother Rasha said earlier, we're hearing different names. We're hearing all kind of different doctrines. But the most important thing to remember is, what did Yah say? Always ask yourself, what did Yahuwah say?
Right. Absolutely. That's the only thing that matters at the end of the day, family.
What did Yahuwah say?
That's the only thing that matters. And I just want to say right quick too, because this is important, family. We want to thank our brothers and sisters who took the time to share their testimony, because it goes into what we're talking about. In fact, I think some of our brothers and sisters who gave their testimony, they mentioned about being hot in this walk, not eating off a bunch of tables. Our brother Donald said that, not eating off of a bunch of tables. But it's important, and that's kind of why we opened up our platform also, for you to hear their stories, because again, this is a lot of new people and what they're experiencing. Our testimony was over 10 years ago, or our walk from 10 years. We put it up, 3-4 years ago or something?
I'm not sure.
Whenever our channel started, yep. But I think it was 2 years ago, probably, or whatever. But that's been our walk for that amount of time that we've been in the truth. We just finally put it out. But for you all to see what other people are going through, that's very important. That way you can see that you're not alone.
Right.
They're going through the same thing that I went through.
Right. And I want to say this too. The reason why it's important, and this is like to share your testimonies, and why we are so proud of our brothers and sisters who have decided to do that. We know that Yah has to put it on a person's heart.
Right.
But those who have done that, the reason why, it's so commendable to us is because what they have done is they have set themselves free. And now the adversary can no longer use what they have done against them. And when you're able to be okay and bold in where you come from and where you are today and where Yah has taken you, that is setting yourself free. It's like taking off the bondage. Like that the adversary tries to keep on us and hold against us, because secrets are his playground. So whenever you can be able to come out and say, I'm no longer ashamed of this, and share it with people so that it can possibly help others. Now you are operating in the spirit of Yahuwah. He is working through you, and you have broken a lot of chains over your life. And so this is why we are so proud of our brothers and sisters who have decided to share their testimonies. And we're going to be sharing others. And we just want to encourage you all to reach out. If you have a powerful testimony that you would like to share.
Right. And that's so deep. I'm glad you shared that, because this is kind of what I want to say briefly too. Family, what our brothers and sisters have done, and we need more brothers. Brothers, share your testimony.
Yes.
Reach out to me. Email me.
We need
it's
some
on
brothers.
the screen. Yes.
You're putting it out
Email
there.
me. But for those that took the risk to share their testimony, this is the walk, family. What they've done, this is the walk. That they've said, you know what? This is what Yah has done for me. Yah has had his hand on my life this whole time. I repented from my old ways. He's brought me through sin. That we are supposed to be that walking testimony. We are supposed to be that walking epistle. We supposed to see Yah in us. So for people supposed to see Yah in us. And those that shared their testimony, this is what they're showing. They're showing that Yah's power in their lives. They are being that walking epistle.
Yes.
So for anyone who can see our brother or sister's testimony and be like, nah, they didn't do this or that, whatever.
Have any kind of negative idea
about what they shared. You are not in the walk.
You're not walking in. You're not walking in the fruits of the spirit.
In the walk.
That's not Yah's Ruach.
If you can listen to a person and say, I've been through this, I've been through this, I've been through that.
Hell and back,
I've been through hell and back. And
many of us.
And your first initial reaction is, nah, they don't have fringes on.
They didn't do it this way. They should have done it this way. And find something wrong with the testimony. Besides
what the powerful story that they shared and what they've been through. You know what? I want to say this too. One of our brothers, he commented on our brother Donald's video. And he was like, it was so powerful what he said. And thank you, brother. The brother was like, you know what? I seen the story of Samson in here. I seen the story of the Good Samaritan in this part of your life. He's like, he tied different stories from the scriptures to brother Donald's life. That's how we supposed to look at it. We supposed to see our lives through the scriptures. And that's what that brother did. Oh, yeah. It was the brother Yah Saves. The brother that made... He makes a little Isaac cartoon.
So we want to encourage you all to follow his channel if you're not checking it out.
If you have children and you're looking for your children for cartoons and stuff, he have great cartoons. So.
Our children came up on his cartoons.
So Yah Saves, we appreciate you, brother.
They still actually be
watching
They
still watching it. They still watching it.
Yes. And I just want to say too, before we move on, this is important. You all, if you have not gotten a chance to look at our brothers and sisters, our brother and our sister's testimony, please support them.
Yes.
Because this is what this walk is about, you all. When people are humbling themselves and they are putting themselves out there to show what Yah has done in their lives, us as brothers and sisters have to come together and support them. Please, we encourage you, support them. Because this is big what they're doing. Support them.
Absolutely. So, let's get into the scriptures, family. Family, we're talking about turning up the temperature. We must be hot in our walk. If not, we're going to be just like the Israelites, saying, Yah, give us a king. And I think the perfect example of that is the story of the Israelites, Samuel and Saul. And this is one of those stories, family, where, you know what, I read this story 100 times, but we're going to break it down and point out some stuff that we never saw before.
We didn't even see
right,
we read it a
exactly.
lot too.
And I'm like, man, I didn't know this.
None of us.
And now it's making sense, right? So let's start reading scriptures, family. We're going to first, if you're following along in your scriptures, we're going to go to 1 Samuel chapter 8, starting at verse 1. 1 Samuel chapter 8, starting at verse 1. You want to start reading that?
It says, now it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. The name of his firstborn was Joel. Well, Joel or Joel? Would we say Joel? Joel. And we're going to be reading in the English versions, you all, for those who are new to the channel. But the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second Abijah, but we know that's Abijah. Wow, really? They were judges in Beersheba, but his sons did not walk in his ways. They turned aside after dishonest gain, took bribes, and perverted justice. Then all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel at Ramah, and said to him, look, you are old, and your sons do not walk in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations.
Say that again.
Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations.
That sounds like what's going on today, huh, family? Samuel, you old. We want something new. You getting you old news. I don't want to hear that no more. I want something new. I want something fresh. Yah, send us a king. Just like these other nations. I want these fresh perspectives like they do in religion. I want this new twist on the scriptures like they do in religion. We got to think about that, family. Who we following? Because we're going to fall just like the Israelites and be like, Yah, send us a king.
And that was the elders of Israel.
That was the elders.
Right here.
We want a king.
And then they used what happened with his children too.
Used it against him.
Used it against him.
Let's keep
and
reading.
It says, verse 6, but the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. So Samuel was displeased. So Samuel prayed to Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to Samuel, heed the voice of the people in all that they say to you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me.
Wow.
That I should not reign over them.
Pause right there. Yah's telling Samuel, they're not rejecting you. They really rejecting me. They are really rejecting Yahuwah. Why? Because Yahuwah is not enough. They are coveting what the other nations have. These other nations, they have a king. We want a king to rule over us now. Yah did all these things for him. Showed him what he always been there the whole time.
Right.
But no, we want a king.
Well, no.
Something wrong with that, family. We have to be very careful.
Verse 8, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them out of Egypt, even to this day, with which they have forsaken me and served other gods, Elohim, other Elohims. So, wow, they're serving. That's why they were all over the place.
Yep.
So they are doing to you also.
Say they are forsaken me, so they're forsaken you also. They just brushing me aside. Right. I don't need them no more.
And Samuel was put in place by Yah. He was a priest.
Right.
It says
a prophet.
A prophet. Oh yeah, a prophet. That's what I meant. Sorry. Verse 9. It says, "Now therefore heed their voice. However, you shall solemnly forewarn them, and show them the behavior of the king who will reign over them." He says,
"Go ahead.
Show them the behavior of the king who will reign over them."
Pause right there. So Yah's telling Samuel, they are forsaking me. They forsaken me and they forsaken you. But you know what? That's what they want. This is what they're asking for. Remember a couple of weeks back we read about when the Israelites was they was in the wilderness and they was like, we want meat. Y'all like, oh, y'all want meat? Y'all not just happy with the manna? Okay, y'all the meat gonna be flowing out y'all nostrils.
This is when what I'm hearing is when you are not content.
Yep. And you're not appreciative of what Yah has done. Where Yah has brought you.
Yes.
Nah, you know what? I'm good. I made it here. Forget about what Yah did. Even though he brought me to this point.
We forget quick.
He saved me.
That carnal
He brought me. Yes, he brought me through all of that. Nah. Yahuwah. Y'all didn't do nothing for me. I want a king. I want something else. Never enough.
Right. And then in verse 10, so Samuel told all the words of Yahuwah to the people who asked him for a king. And he said, "This will be the behavior of the king who will reign over you."
Now, Yah is still showing them mercy and love. Oh, y'all want a king? Well, okay, I'm going to give him to you. But this is what's going to happen. So, before I do it, I'm going to still warn you. Are you sure you want to do this? Tell him this is what's going to happen to you.
Says he will take your sons and appoint them for his own chariots and to be his horsemen, and some will run before his chariots. He will appoint captains over his thousands and captains over his 50s, will set some to plow his ground and reap his harvest, and some to make his weapons of war and equipment for his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers, cooks, and bakers, and he will take the best of your fields, your vineyards, and your olive groves, and give them to his servants. So he's going to take that from them.
Yep.
He will take a tenth of your grain and your vintage and give it to his officers and servants. And he will take your male servants, your female servants, your finest young men, and your donkeys, and put them to his work. He will take a tenth of your sheep, and you will be his servants. And you will cry out
in that
day because of your king whom you have chosen for yourselves. And Yahuwah will not hear you in that day.
Pause right there. This is deep, family. I see. First thing, let me point this out. Notice what Yahuwah is telling them. He's saying the things that this king is going to do is going to all be about him. It says his. It's going to be. He's going to appoint captains over his thousands. He will set some to plow for his ground and reap his harvest. It's all about the leader. It's all going to be for the leader. Whatever you do, it's going to be for the leader. No, it's not saying it's going to be Yah's harvest. It's not going to say it's going to be Yah's army, Yah's men. Everything that's going to happen is going to be for the leader.
It's very, very selfish.
Very selfish. So that's why we're saying when we have to follow this leader. We have to follow this pastor. We have to follow this person. Are you putting that person before Yah? Because Yah is saying you want this person to lord over you. You want this person to be the king over you. It's going to be all about him. And guess what? You're going to forget about me.
Yep.
You're going to forget about me. This is what Yah is saying, family. But will the Israelites listen? Verse 19.
Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. So even knowing they're going to be oppressed, they still refuse to obey the voice of Samuel.
I'd rather be oppressed than just put Yah first.
That's the same thing like the Israelites whenever Yahuwah was taking them out of the land. Well, after he had took them out of the land of Egypt, and they kept complaining. Same
I want to go
mentality.
Back. I want to go back.
Same mentality.
Put me in slavery.
Put me in slavery.
That's what this sounds like, right? This sounds like bondage.
To bondage. They was addicted to bondage. Addicted to it.
Wow, that's deep, family. That is deep. Mm-hmm. It seems like we're addicted to bondage. We have to have somebody over us. We can't just let Yah rule over us.
Right.
We have to have man in front of us.
Right. Right. Ruling over us.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then, so it says, nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, no, but we will have a king over us.
No, we still want a king.
That we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us. Wait, that we also may be like all the nations. That's what you was just talking about. Yep. And that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. I thought y'all fights our battles.
I thought y'all supposed to get all those themes. But we want this king. We want this leader.
Wasn't y'all supposed to be our shepherd?
Last I heard.
Y'all is my shepherd, I shall not want.
But I want a king. You know why? Because I'm lukewarm in this walk. I'm complacent in my walk. Yah is not enough. I need a king. I need a leader. And listen to me, family. We are definitely not saying that people who are elders or people who are you go to for guidance and saying that they have certain wisdom that you don't have, or exactly, or they can point out certain things to you that you don't see. We're not saying that that's not important.
Right.
What we're saying is, and this is the difference, family. When you have this person that wants to lord over you, they want to be master over you.
Yes, authoritarian.
Yes, yes, and this is what's going on in the Israelite community. People want to be so much under in a group, or they want to have this leader over them, and this person becomes their master, becomes their lord.
That's going on in all even in the Christian church.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's going on even there too. That and the reason why, I mean, matter of fact, definitely is going on there too, because this is why a lot of people, they'll come against you when you're trying to tell them the truth, and because they'll say you talking against their pastor or what they was taught by their pastor, and so they'll lift the pastor over the truth and over Yah's word, and so it's going on there too. And that's the thing, we think because we come into this walk that things are gonna be completely completely different. And yes, it is different, because now we're worshiping in spirit and truth. Now we desire truth, right? But at the same time, you still have to have discernment. You still have to be able to have that bond with Yah, that personal relationship with Yahuwah, to where you are able to discern, if something is of his ruach or not. Like, nobody should be trying to lord over Yah's
because the scripture's going to tell us how, if somebody wants to be a leader, the ruach that they're supposed to have. How it's supposed to be established. But Yah is warned. And remember, they asked for a specific thing. They said, we want a king over us. Yah said, that's what y'all want? I'm not y'all king? This is what he going to do to y'all. This is the bondage that y'all going to be under. And that's what you're saying. We have to be careful of. And it's definitely in Christianity. It's basically in religion. Right. It's in religion. That's what we're saying. It's in religion.
Yes, and that's the thing too. If you see somebody trying to still be practicing religion, saying, I'm not in Christianity, but then it's another form of a religion. It's not this walk. We continue to say this. It is not a religion.
It's a way of
life.
It's
a way of life. It's the way we live. We live by the way of Yah. What Yah instructs us to do through His Word and through His Ruach HaKodesh, through Yahushua HaMashiach. In belief, we walk in those ways. This is what the walk is.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we're going to what? Is
20? Yep, 21.
Yep, so they was asking for the king. They said, give us that king to rule over us. But it says, what it says, nevertheless, this is 19. We're going to start again by 19. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, no, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations. Okay, I read that. And that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all of the words of the people, and he repeated them in the hearing of Yahuwah. So Yahuwah said to Samuel, heed their voice. And
that's something about Yah, family. That is something about Yah. He's like, you know what? You have free will.
Yes.
I'm not going to force you to do nothing. I gave you the warning. You have to choose. Israelites, you know what? We still want a king. I don't care. He could slap me and then beat me. I want my king.
Yep. So y'all said, heed their voice.
Heed their voice.
And make them a king. And Samuel said to the men of Israel, every man go to his city. So you're going to get what you ask for.
And that goes back to those saying, be careful what you ask for. That's what we talk about a lot of times. If you're not specific in what you ask for, remember, the Israelites were like, we just want a king like all the nations. They didn't ask, Yah, we want him to be a man after your own heart. We want him to treat us fairly, to judge righteously. All these things. They just say, we want a king like all the other nations. Okay, y'all, you're going to get a wicked king just like these other nations.
Wow, we have this. But that's been flying. I've been looking all over. If you all seen me looking like this and all over the place, that's why. Oh my goodness.
Let's continue reading. We're going to go to the next chapter, 1 Samuel chapter 9, and we're going to see who Yahuwah reveals as the king. 1 Samuel chapter 9, starting at verse 1. It says, there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, the son of Zeror, the son of Bechorat, the son of Aphiah, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power. And he had a choice and handsome son whose name was Saul. Now, y'all listen to this, family. I learned this new when I read it when we were studying it earlier during the week. It says, there was not a more handsome person than he among the children of Israel. From his shoulders upward, he was taller than any of the people. So y'all say y'all want a king? I'm gonna give y'all a king that's handsome. He look good.
He tall.
Yep, he fit all the characteristics of a king. He gonna look the part. But that heart is wicked as all get out. Be careful what you ask for, family. So those that's I'm lukewarm in my walk. You know what? I need to find more. I need to. This pastor here, these people that's teaching, they're not saying enough. I need to find one that speaks well. I need one that talks, that speaks eloquently. Y'all gonna send that to you. But if it's because he speaks eloquently, is he speaking from the Ruach?
Right.
That's what you have to discern.
Yes.
Just because he's speaking eloquently, he looked the part, got the suit, speaking the white language, got the fringes on, but that heart is still wicked.
Are they speaking the words of Yah?
That's what we have to ask ourselves.
That's the main thing. Are they speaking the words of Yah? Or are they speaking something from tradition?
Right.
Are they speaking from their own thoughts? That's important to ask.
And that's where the discernment comes in at. Because that's something we talk about a lot of time. Like how we were saying earlier, family. A lot of people that's so-called teaching truth now, a lot of them, they come out of religion. And they still trying to hold fast to those doctrines. But they teaching truth. So we have to be careful. We have to discern. Is this really of the Ruach? Is this really of Yah? Or is this some type of truth with tradition mixed in it? With religion mixed in it? So that's what we have to be careful of, family. Let's drop down to next chapter, 1 Samuel. So Yah told the Israelites, I'm going to send y'all somebody that look good, that's tall. He looks the part of the king. Let's go to the next chapter. 1 Samuel chapter 10, starting at verse 17. You want to read that? 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 17, family.
It says, then Samuel called the people together to Yahuwah at Mizpah and said to the children of Israel, thus says Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, I brought up Israel out of Egypt and delivered you from the hand of the Egyptians and from the hand of all kingdoms and from those who oppressed you.
I did all this for y'all.
But you have today rejected your Elohim, who himself saved you from all your adversities and your tribulations, and you have said to him, no, set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before Yahuwah by your tribes and by your clans.
Y'all said I did all this for y'all. Remember that? Let me remind y'all right quick. All these things I set y'all free from. All the tribulations, all that, all your adversities. I brought you through all these things.
Right.
Nah, yeah. I want a king. You didn't do that. That's just like when they was in the wilderness. He delivered them out of Egypt. What they did. What's the next thing that they did? Made that golden calf. We want something that we could see. It's never enough. We're not content. We're not content with Yah. We have to be careful, family.
Starting at verse 20, 1 Samuel 10. It says, and when Samuel had caused all the tribes of Israel to come near, the tribe of Benjamin was chosen. When he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near by their families, the family of Matri was chosen. And Saul, the son of Kish, was chosen. But when they sought him, he could not be found. Therefore they inquired of Yahuwah further, has the man come here yet? And Yahuwah answered, there is he, hidden among the... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. They keep flying around me. Where was I?
There he is, hidden among
the immediate reaction.
Right.
Okay. And Yahuwah answered, there he is, hidden among the equipment. So they ran and brought him from there. And when he stood among the people, he was taller than any of the people from his shoulders upward. And Samuel said to all the people, do you see him whom Yahuwah has chosen, that there is no one like him among all the people?
That's deep. So pause right there. Samuel saying, now y'all see him? Y'all wanted somebody, Lord, over y'all, to rule over y'all? He really stands above all of y'all. Because remember, he's the tallest of everybody.
Right. So all the people shouted and said, long live the king. Then Samuel explained to the people the behavior of royalty, and wrote it in a book and laid it up before Yahuwah. And Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. And Saul also went home to Gibeah, and valiant men went with him, whose hearts Yah had touched.
Y'all listen to this, family.
But some rebels said, how can this man save us? So they despised him and brought him no presents. But he held his peace. What?
Wow. So family, we see.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't matter what Yah does. He sent them a king.
Yep.
They still had rebels. Who Samuel? Who Saul supposed to be? Who he's supposed to be to save us? But that's what y'all asked for. Y'all send it to y'all. Nah, he can't save us.
That goes back to when you're not content in what Yah has given you. It's like it's never enough.
It's never enough. We have to be very, very careful with that, family. We have to be
and pray for contentment, that Yah helps us to be content in what he has given us. What I mean by content in what he has given us, that doesn't mean don't continue to keep growing and learning. That's not what we're saying. We're talking about the foundational principles. We're talking about what he has given you based on, like I'm talking about the foundational things that you have received, to let you know that he is real. He exists. His name is real. His name exists. His son's name. Like all of these things. These are the foundational things. And so when he give it to you, then you build on that. But you take your time.
Right.
You take your time. Don't rush the process. We often say that. Because this walk is not about knowledge. It's about our hearts. How is our hearts with Yah? Do we have a personal relationship with him? Because when we do, we're not going to fall off.
Absolutely.
He's going to continue to guide us. And if we do fall, we're gonna come right back up. Just like I said, a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again.
Says when Yahushua will return, He's looking for those that have faith. He's coming back for those who have belief, family. It didn't say nothing about He coming back for those with the knowledge. It didn't come back. He didn't say He coming back for those that's sitting under a certain pastor. Those that's in a certain assembly. He didn't say He coming. He said He coming back for those that have belief, that have faith. That's who He coming back for, family.
And the adversary's job is to strip that.
Yes.
He wants to strip away our belief. He wants to cause us to doubt. He wants to cause us to doubt what Yah has given us.
Yep.
Remember, if Yah says to seek Him, if He says if we seek Him and we cry out to Him, and we search for Him with all of our hearts, all of these different things, He said He's going to show Himself to us. He's going to reveal things to us. So if He's saying that, then we got to trust the process. We have to believe that His word is true and that what it says, He's not a man that He should lie or change His mind.
Nope. Absolutely. And you talked about us being content. And I want us to think about this, family. Really, that's a mindset of the world, because the world teaches us not to be content.
Right. Very true.
Y'all think about with these cars. They never want you to be content with, okay, you have a 2012, 2014 car. Guess what? You're nothing if you don't have a 2024. That 2012 run just as fine as a 2024. But the world teaches us to consume. It's never enough.
Yes.
You're nothing unless you have that brand new house. You're nothing unless you have that brand new car. That's a mindset of the world, family. We have to be content, not only with what we have, but number one, we have to be content in Yah.
Very true. Very true. No, I just had that scripture in Jeremiah 29:13 where Yahuwah says, where it says actually that you will seek me. This is Yah. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all of your heart. So if He's saying that and we're doing that, then we have to know that that is the truth and be content in what He is telling us.
He's telling us. He's not going to keep leading us astray, family.
Right.
He told me something the first time, just like how He did to the Israelites. I warned y'all. I told y'all, this is what I did, but y'all still want some more. There's not enough what I did. Okay, I'm going to show you then.
Right.
You want more, then guess what? And then let's go. Okay, that leads perfectly into what we're about to get into.
Right.
Let's look at this next story, family. This is deep too. Y'all pay attention to this. This goes back to, family, when we're not content, we're coveting what others have. We're not happy with what Yah has gave us. We got to do like the other nations. We're lukewarm.
A wavering back and forth.
Yes, we're wavering. And we're not careful. Yah's going to give us what we asking for. And it could be terrible, fam. I'm going to just say that. It could be terrible.
Yes.
So let's read. Let's look at 1 Kings 22. Let me start at verse 1, family. 1 Kings chapter 22, starting at verse 1. This is talking about King Ahab. It says, now 3 years passed without war between Syria and Israel. Then it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went down to visit the king of Israel. And the king of Israel said to his servants, do you know that Ramoth in Gilead is ours? But we hesitate to take it out of the hand of the king of Syria. So he said to Jehoshaphat, you will go with me to fight at Ramoth. Will you go with me to fight at Ramoth Gilead? Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as you are, my people as your people, my horses as your horses. Also Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, please inquire for the word of Yahuwah today. Verse 6. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said to them, shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to fight, or shall I refrain? So they said, go up, for Yahuwah will deliver it into the hand of the king. Verse 7. And Jehoshaphat said, is there not still a prophet of Yahuwah here, that we may inquire of him? So the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, there is still one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of Yahuwah. But I hate him. because he does not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. Micaiah not telling him what he want to hear.
Right.
That's what that is.
Exactly.
I want yes men.
Right.
I just want yes men that tell me what I want to hear.
Yes. And for those of you who may not know, the king of Israel that they're referring to is Ahab.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case you may not know, because we're gonna talk about Ahab.
Right.
But it's the same.
Jehoshaphat, right? Jehoshaphat was the king of Judah.
Right. Right. And even after see right here too, when King, what was that? The king of Israel, when he was saying the stuff about that prophet, when he said, when he made that statement, Jehoshaphat said, "Let not the king say such things." So he was even warning him.
Right, like, man, you talking out of pocket.
Right.
Man. That's you talking against Yah's prophets.
Right. Right.
Just because he don't agree with you.
Right.
So that means you're not just like what they did with Samuel. You're not disagreeing with Samuel. You really disagreeing with Yah. You don't want to hear Yah, what Yah saying.
Oh my
That's what
goodness.
that is.
Same thing, right?
Says verse 9. Then the king of Israel called an officer and said, "Bring Micaiah the son of Imlah quickly." The king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, having put on their robes, sat each on his throne at a threshing floor at the entrance of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. Now Zedekiah the son of Chanah had made horns of iron for himself. And he said, "Thus says Yahuwah, with these you shall gore the Syrians until they are destroyed." And all the prophets prophesied, so saying, "Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for Yahuwah will deliver it into the king's hand." Then the messenger who had gone to call Micaiah spoke to him, saying, "Now listen, the words of the prophets with one accord encourage the king. Please let your words be like the word of one of them and speak encouragement."
Wow. So he's telling the prophet how to prophesy to him.
That's not Yah speaking if you trying to tell me what to say.
Right.
He's like, "Look, man, all the other prophets, they encouraging the king. You better come here and say the same thing they saying."
Right. Did it say how many of the prophets yet?
It did. It said 400. Yep, 400.
So you all, this was 400 prophets that told him what he wanted to hear.
Yep.
And only one out of all of those prophets, he's the one that came and told him something different.
Yep. I'm going to read that.
Oh, I'm jumping the gun.
Right. Verse 15. We're on 14. Yep. Verse 14, family. Second King, what is it? First Kings? First Kings chapter 22, starting we're at verse 14. And Micaiah said, "As Yahuwah lives, whatever Yahuwah says to me, that I will speak." So Micaiah, like, man, look, you can say whatever you want.
Yes.
You can try to coach me to say the right things. He's like, whatever Yah put on my heart to speak, that's what I'm saying.
You came to me.
You called me, I'm minding my business.
Right. Right.
Micaiah, like, I was minding my business.
Right.
Don't come to me unless you want to hear what Yah has to
speak. How many people, I'm just saying, they come and then they do like they want to hear what you got to say, but then if you don't say what they want to hear, it's a different story.
Yep.
They gone. Or
They don't want to hear
angry.
it. Yep, they don't want to hear it. And that's what we're saying, family. Listen. In this walk, that's why we're saying you have to have that discernment. That's why we say pray for discernment. Because a lot of times people just going to tell you what you want to hear. They will tell you what they want to hear because, again, this internet stuff, when we came into it, it wasn't like all this, family. People, they doing stuff for clickbait.
Yes.
They doing stuff to get followers.
Whatever's popular.
Whatever's popular.
I want to talk about it.
That's where the discernment comes in at. Because people going to come with a doctrine that's not, they're going to use one line out the Bible. One verse, they're going to build a whole doctrine around one verse. We have to be careful, fam. We have to discern what we're looking at. We have to discern what we're hearing. Because a lot of these people, they're like the 400 prophets who only speaking, who are only yes men, who only speaking to get approval.
Yes.
So that's the warning, family.
You have to be careful. Is it 14?
Verse 15.
Verse 15. Okay.
Then he came to the king, and the king said to him, Micaiah, shall we go to war against Ramoth Gilead, or shall we refrain? And he answered him, Go and prosper, for Yahuwah will deliver it into the hand of the king. The king said to him, How many times shall I make you swear that you tell me nothing but the truth in the name of Yahuwah? So the king must have felt like, nah, he's not telling me the truth. He's just telling me what I want to hear. So he's like, nah, I'm telling you, tell me the truth. Verse 17, because he always knew that Micaiah always spoke evil of him, or spoke whatever Yahuwah said. Verse 17, it says, Then he said, I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. And Yahuwah said, These have no master. Let each return to his house in peace.
Hold on. So hold up. Because I just want to make sure of this. In 15, didn't Micaiah end up just telling him? He just kept begging him, tell me what I want to hear. So Micaiah just said, okay, mom, say what you want to hear.
Go and prosper.
Go prosper. Go ahead.
The Lord going to deliver it into the hand of the king.
He just came out and just said, look, that's what you want. You keep asking me. Go ahead. But the king, now he do it. Now the king like, something is off.
Right, something off.
Something off. Now I don't trust you.
Right.
Then the king come back and tell him,
tell me the truth.
Tell me the truth. And so he said something different from all the 400 prophets.
Right. Which he said in verse 17. He said, I saw Israel scattered on the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. So basically, family, what he's saying is sheep going to be scattered because they will not have a shepherd. They will not have a king. So a wise person, somebody that can discern, or somebody that's with the Ruach, they're going to say, you know what? That means I got to refrain. I got to hold back. Because that's saying they're not going to have a shepherd. I'm the shepherd.
Right.
Let's look at verse 18. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell you, he would not prophesy good concerning me, but evil? So now he's mad, right? Now he's mad. You asked for the truth. I told you the truth. Now it's evil.
I was lying to you. You wanted me to tell you. You wanted me to tell you what everybody else was telling you. The other 400 prophets.
You wanted me to tickle your ear, but nah, that's not good enough. Now I tell you the real truth. Now something wrong with me.
Something wrong with me. My goodness.
Then Micaiah said, Therefore hear the word of Yahuwah. I saw Yahuwah sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by, on his right hand and on his left. And Yahuwah said, Who will persuade Ahab to go up, that he may fall at Ramoth Gilead? So one spoke in this manner, and another spoke in that manner. Then a spirit came forward and stood before Yahuwah and said, I will persuade him. Then Yahuwah said to him, In what way? So he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And Yahuwah said, You shall persuade him and also prevail. Wow. Go out and do so. Therefore, look, Yahuwah has put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets of yours, and Yahuwah has declared disaster against you. This is what we're talking about, family. This is why we say you have to pray for discernment. Because when we're asking for certain things, when we want to acquire things or do things that's not of Yah according to our own hearts, Yah may say, you know what? That's what you want? Even though it's not of me, I'm going to put a lying spirit on somebody to give you those things. To tell you the things that you want to hear. Oh, this truth that you got, that's not enough? I'm going to put a lying spirit on somebody that you hear to lead you astray.
Yes.
To draw you away from the truth.
Yes. This is powerful.
We was talking earlier that, like, you know, family, like how you said earlier too at the beginning, There's not only churches on every corner, people in the truth that's got channels, got different things that's on everywhere you look. There's false prophets. If you're not discerning correctly, there are false prophets around every corner, family.
And it's not just people in the truth. It's also people who's trying to draw people away from the truth.
Right.
That's important too, because they have people actually doing that. They're actually sent on assignment to draw people away from what Yah has intended in their hearts.
Yes. We talked about the brother last year, I think, sometime. The brother that was going hard for the truth, and then he turned away from Yah. Yah gave him over to a reprobate mind, and now he's trying to draw people away from Yah.
Yes.
Now the Bible, the word, is not true no more.
It's not true anymore.
I believe in science now.
Yes. Yes.
This can happen, family.
And this too is important as well for people who are still in Christianity, because you see a lot of these big time prophets, so called, but we know they're false prophets. The T.D. Jakes, you know, the Joel Osteens, and the Joyce Myers. I mean, we can go on and on and on with all of these big time false prophets. People not even realizing that Yah has put a lying spirit on these prophets to speak words.
So-called prophets.
Right. False prophets. Right.
Right.
He put a lying spirit on them because what they are preaching doesn't even align with scripture.
Right.
It's a prosperity gospel, and the prosperity gospel is witchcraft.
Right.
And so what they're preaching is not even Yah's word, but if we don't go in the word and dissect it and learn of it and go to Yah and develop that personal relationship, we won't be able to distinguish those things and to discern these things.
Right. Remember too, I was telling you how I was reading that article last night about somebody that converted into a different religion or whatever, but the principle of what he was saying was true, of why he was disillusioned by religion. And this is something that we say all the time, family. A lot of these pastors, they know the truth.
Yes.
They know the truth, family, but they will not go there. I want to hold on to my customs. I want to hold on to my traditions. I want to hold on to my congregation.
Yes.
So I would not go all the way to the truth. I will mix a little bit of truth with a lot of deception, lying tongues.
And it's because they're focused on the numbers.
Yes, absolutely. You want to continue reading for me? Verse 24.
Okay, now Zedekiah, the son of Shanana went near and struck Micaiah on the cheek and said, wow, really?
Got mad.
Whoa. Which way did the spirit from Yahuwah go from me to speak to you?
Wow.
And Micaiah said, indeed, you shall see on that day when you go into an inner chamber to hide. So the king of Israel said, take Micaiah and return him to Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, thus says the king, put this fellow in prison and feed him with bread of affliction and water of affliction until I come in peace. Wow. So he know he coming back.
The part 2 note, I mean, so he spoke the truth. Now you want to put him in jail. And this is what you were saying earlier, just like Meshach, Abednego, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Sometime, family, will we stand up for truth and speak truth? Because even regardless of the consequences, because he told the truth, and look what happened to him. The king was like, guess what? He didn't speak with a lying tongue like these other prophets.
Right.
Put him in jail. Because I'm coming back, like what you just said. He's so bold and confident, prideful.
Yes.
I'm coming back regardless of what the prophet said. Okay. You didn't want to listen. You didn't want to heed God's voice.
Right.
Let's see how it's going to play out.
It says, but Micaiah said, if you ever return in peace, Yahuwah has not spoken to me.
Up.
And he said, take heed, all you people.
Oh, he said, take heed, all you people. Again, y'all warning them. Nope. We want to do our own thing. We are not content. We are not content with Yah. We don't want to hear the voice of the prophet. It's not enough.
So what? Do we
1 Kings 22, starting at verse 29. We're still in the same chapter. Now Ahab goes to battle. Let's see what's going to happen. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead, and the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and go into battle, but you put on your robes. So the king of Israel disguised himself and went into battle.
This is Ahab.
Wow.
So he said he's going to disguise himself.
He's going to disguise himself like, nah, they're not going to know I'm the king. You think that's going to save you, Ahab?
Let's see.
Yah's word is true. What the scripture say? Yah's not man that he would lie.
Right?
Verse 31. Now the king of Syria had commanded the 32 captains of his chariots, saying, fight with no one small or great, but only with the king of Israel.
What?
We have to be careful, family.
What?
We have to be careful.
And this is supposed to be an army, right?
This is
fighting
war.
Battle.
Opposition. Two
What?
different sides.
Two different sides. You're fighting to kill, right? In that situation, when you're going into a battle, you're fighting to kill. You want to win. They saying, don't touch nobody, small or great. Only one I want you to target.
This goes back to the spirit realm where we was talking about spiritual. Yah spoke to the prophet through the spirit and said, tell him not to go, right? He disobeyed. He's like, nah, I still want to go. So we can assume that Yah spoke to the king of Syria. Because he said, don't touch nobody else. We want strictly the king.
Yes.
To prove that, we're going to make an example.
One
that
thing about
word
Yah,
comes, what?
What? He know how to show
exactly
that his word is true. And what he say, that's what it's going to be.
Because the king of Syria, he like, don't touch nobody. Only we want Ahab.
You stubborn, hold on.
That's what we say, family. Yah use whoever he wants to fulfill his purposes on this earth.
Very true. True.
Verse 31.
You want me to read?
Yeah.
Now the king of Syria had commended the 32 captains of his chariots, saying, fight with no one, small or great, but only with the king of Israel. So it was when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat that they said, surely it is the king of Israel.
Remember, because he had on the robes, right?
Right. Therefore, they turned aside to fight against him. And, he is wrong for that, Ahab, huh? So wicked.
What?
He like, let me let you go in like the king. Because he wanted them to take him out. I'm a go in and disguise myself. But y'all was like, nope, you're not going to even touch him. You're going to have to. This thing's still flying up. Today, a little fly that's flying around, then the picture phone. Oh, my goodness. But
still gonna get the word
right. Okay, so where was I think it's 33, isn't it 33? And it it happened when the captains of the chariots.
Well, no, start at 32.
32. Okay, so it was when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat that they said, surely it is the king of Israel. Therefore they turned aside to fight against him, and Jehoshaphat cried out.
Jehoshaphat like, nah, that's not me. No, I'm not the king.
And it happened when the captains of the chariots saw that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him.
Didn't even touch him.
Wow.
And Jehoshaphat, their enemy. And they're in battle, family.
Like, we don't want you.
We don't want you.
Now a certain man drew a bow at random and struck the king of Israel between the joints of his armor.
A certain man drew a bow at random, fulfilling Yah's prophecy. Randomly. And it just happened to hit the king in between. Out of all places, he could have hit his armor. He could have hit on the side of the chariot. It stuck him between his armor.
At random. And struck the king of Israel between the joints of his armor. So he said to the driver of his chariots. To the driver of his chariots. Wait, now it's certain. I'm trying to see where I am. Now a certain man drew a bow at random and struck the king of Israel between the joints of his armor. So he said to the driver of his chariot, turn around and take me out of the battle, for I am wounded.
Mm-hmm.
The battle increased that day, and the king was propped up in his chariot, facing the Syrians, and died at evening. The blood ran out from the wound unto the floor of the chariot. Then, as the sun was going down, a shout went throughout the army, saying, every man to his city, and every man to his own country. So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria.
You can stop right there. Wow. That's deep, family. This story is so deep, family. So many lessons we can learn from it. And one of the main lessons I got, what we were saying, family, is that y'all can put a lying tongue in so-called prophets' mouth to lead you astray. Because why? You're not content in Yah.
Yes.
You're lukewarm in your walk. You're not on fire for Yah. You haven't turned up the temperature for Yah. You know what? I want a king over me. I need something else besides Yah.
Yes.
And Yah can lead you astray. That person, those lying tongues, family, they can lead you to the pits of hell. The brother said this in his testimony, Brother Donald. He was like, when we stand on Judgment Day, it's nobody going to be with us. We going to stand on our own, family. This is what we keep trying to remind everybody. We have to remind ourselves of it.
Right.
We have to be spiritual. We have to listen to the Ruach. We have to be guided by the Ruach. This is what we're looking for. If we're not seeing things through spiritual eyes, and we're just looking at the physical,
right,
we don't have that discernment.
Right. And focusing on numbers, all of these things. These are things that we see. And all it grieves us a lot because we be looking and we like, oh my goodness, they are deceiving people. You know, just feeling real bad. So and it's not to scare anyone, because if you have discernment, you'll be okay. We're just trying to encourage you all to have that relationship with Yahuwah and to be content in what He has given you without wavering back and forth. Because the devil wants us to doubt. This is his goal. This is his mission. Because remember, you said it yourself from the scriptures that Yahushua said He's going to be coming back for people with faith, with great belief, with belief.
Yep.
And so think about it. What's the opposite of belief? Doubt. So this is why He is at war with us, to cause us to doubt.
The Israelites doubted Yahuwah. We want Saul. We want a king. Ahab doubted.
The food thing too.
Yes, right. The mammon, they doubted. Ahab doubted. He warned you. He told you what's going to happen. Nah. That's not true. I got to do my own thing.
And he was focused on the numbers too, because they had over 400 prophets.
Right.
But just one out of that 400 was telling the truth. One out of 400. This is what this truth looks like. This is what the when it comes to Yah's word and His truth, this is what it looks like. It says, although Israel be like the sand of the sea, only a small remnant is going to be saved. Even Yahushua said that the road is wide that leads to destruction. The narrow path is the path we want to be on. So it's not going to be something that is huge. It's not going to be that. It's going to be something narrow.
Right. And that's so deep. And let me just say two things right quick, family. Very, very important. One, family, you said it grieves you when we see these things. And a lot of times people may say, you know what, Brother Rashal, Sister Yabia, y'all talk a lot about this. And I mean, I could walk and chew gum at the same time. Family, we say these things because we've seen it. And it really does grieve us because we see what's ahead.
Not only do we see, well, you could say we see, that's true too. So I'm not, going against that. But also we get emails. We get messages galore of people who sending us a message because they like, I was shipwrecked.
Yep, I was going hard in the walk. I got shipwrecked. Now I'm finally coming back.
Eating off of too many tables. This is stuff that we hear, you all. This is not us coming on here and trying to talk because we want to gain followers. And this is not what this is about for us. If you've been following us for a while, then if you don't know, this is not what, I don't know what to say. This is not what this is about for us.
Right.
This is really us warning you all. This is what we hear. People get shipwrecked. They say, I was eating off of too many tables. Yep. We're not saying don't listen to other teachers.
But you have to discern. Exactly. Like,
it don't have to be a whole lot of teachers all over the place that I got to get this and that. No. Go to Yah.
No.
Go directly to Yah.
And like you said, for when you listening to different teachers, like, because we've been in this walk for so long, and then, like I said, we learning things. We learn a lot about spiritual things now. Mm-hmm. Some things we see, we just automatically know. No.
Yes.
This is because we could see it from a spiritual level.
Yes.
No. I'm not eating. I'm not sitting at this table.
Yes.
I am not sitting at this table.
Yes.
It will not work.
Yes. And what I would like to say, because that just came to me as we were reading, that you all, if any one of you like watching this and you decide, let me send Brother Rasha or Sister Abby a message because I want to know something, or I'm going through this thing or whatever, right. Please, we ask that if you do, just know that we're going to respond with the truth,
right,
out of love.
Yes.
And we just ask that if you don't want to hear the truth out of love,
we just like Micaiah.
We're going to tell you the truth.
We telling you love you. Exactly.
Because we love you. Exactly. And we want you to understand
and
that.
We doing it in love.
Yes. Because some people will get offended, and then next thing you know.
Right. Yeah, they don't have love.
Right.
We telling you the truth.
We telling you the truth because we love you, and we're trying to warn you of what can happen.
Right.
You know? So I just wanted to mention that.
Right. And the second thing I want to mention, the first thing I said was that, you know, a lot of things we see and it's not to puff ourselves up and say, oh, y'all think y'all know so much. No. Family, it's just like you go walk in the middle of the interstate. I know what's going to happen next. You're going to get hit by a car.
Right.
Stay off the interstate.
Right.
Don't put your hand on a hot stove. I know what's going to happen. You're going to get burned. So don't sit at all these tables. You're going to get confused, especially if you're a babe.
Yes.
That's important. And the second thing I want to say, family, is this. You have to put it in your mind that for a certain amount of time, you may have to walk this alone.
Yes.
You may have to just be just you and Yah and happy and content with that.
Yes. Yes.
You have to be content with that, family. You can't, Yah, I want a king. I want a pastor over me. You're going to get shipwrecked, family.
Yes.
If they're not operating it, and they got some beautiful ministries out there.
Yes.
They have teachers that's teaching the truth.
Right.
But you have to have discernment.
Yes, you do.
This is what we're saying, family. Because let's go into this. The scriptures tells us the type of leader we're supposed to sit under, who we're supposed to look for, how is it supposed to exactly in a leader, what we're supposed to look for. So let's look at that. Let's look at Matthew chapter 20, starting at verse 20. Let's look at that, family. You want to read that?
It says, then the mother of Zebedee's son came to him with her sons, kneeling down and asking something from him. And he said to her, what do you wish? And she said to him, grant that these two sons of mine may sit, one on your right hand and the other on the left, in your kingdom. But Yahushua answered and said, you do not know what you ask. Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with?
Yahushua was saying, y'all want what y'all asking for? That's again, be careful what you ask for.
They said to him, we are able. So he said to them, you will indeed drink my cup and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it is for those whom it is prepared by my Father.
There you go. Making that distinction again.
He said it's not mine to give, but it is for those for whom it is prepared by my Father. Whoa. And when the 10 heard it, they were greatly displeased with the two brothers. But Yahushua called them to himself and said,
y'all listen to this, family.
You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those who are great exercise authority over them. Yet it shall not be so among you. But whoever desires to be great among you, let them be your servant.
Let him be your servant.
And whoever desires to be first among you, let him be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. No, he said he didn't come to be served. He said, but to serve and to give his life servant as a ransom for many.
Yahushua was basically saying, if you want to be a leader, you have to be the opposite of Saul. Remember when we read about Saul, everything was about him. Him. Y'all saying you want to be a leader, you have to be willing to serve your brother.
Right.
You shouldn't want to lord over them.
Right.
You shouldn't want to rule over them. This is what Yahuwah was talking about too. Why you want to rule over you? I'm your king.
Yes. We're hearing people that saying, call them master.
Oh,
they got people calling them master, calling them king, calling them lord.
And these
prophetess,
people are not correcting the people that's calling them these things. Yep, I'm a king. Yes, I'm a master.
Whoa. Yes, I'm a lord.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. That's not the spirit, fam. Didn't Yahushua say, call nobody master? Because you only have one master?
One master.
You only have one father?
Yeah, one father.
And you're not correcting that? You letting people call you king and lord and master? And
all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Prophetess.
Prophet.
Prophet such and such. Prophet so and so.
We got to be careful, family. That person accepting that title, that means they want to lord over you. I'm better than you. I know more than you. Nah. Brother Rasha, Sister Abiyah, we're going to keep it like that.
That's it.
That's it.
That's how we want y'all to refer to us.
Please. I'm not nobody master.
Did you want to read this stuff from
Yep, let's look at that. Yep,
we're going to read something. Because that's made me think of this. You all, I'm reading, I showed this book before in one of our other messages, the Apocrypha. If you have a Sefer, then the Apocrypha is in the Sefer.
Right.
And we have the resources on our website if you all want to see the resources for all the all the different books. But this is the Apocrypha. This is the Authorized King James Version here. And we're going to read, I'll probably put it right here, huh? So we can know. This is Second Esdras. From Second Esdras. And this is chapter 1, verses 31 through 38. So again, Second Esdras chapter 1, verses 31 through 38. It says, when you offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. For your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcision have I forsaken. So Yahuwah was speaking to the Israelites, you all. I sent unto you my servants, the prophets, whom you have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require on your hands.
I wonder who he's talking to.
Said Yahuwah.
Who is he talking to?
The Israelites.
Interesting.
Thus said the Almighty, your house is desolate. I will cast you out as the wind doth stubble. And your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandment, and done the thing that is evil before me. Your houses will I give to a people that shall come, which have not, it says, having not heard of me, yet shall believe me, to whom I have showed no signs. Yet they shall do that I have commanded them. Who he's talking to, you all? He said these people are going to believe in him, and he didn't even show any signs to them. What? They have seen no prophets. Whoa. Y'all hear that? No prophets? What time is this?
No signs.
No signs. No prophets. Yet they shall call their sins to remembrance.
We talked about that about 2 weeks ago, about remembering the sins of our forefathers.
Right.
Acknowledging them.
Right. Call their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them. I take to witness the grace of the peoples to come. You all, what? The grace? Who gave us grace? Grace came by who? Yahuwah. Who's walking under that? It says, 37, I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though have not seen me with bodily eyes, have we seen them?
Nope.
Yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say. What?
In what? In what?
In spirit they believe the thing that I say.
Sound like a spiritual thing, huh?
What about that scripture in the New Covenant scriptures where it says that the Father is seeking the ones who worship in spirit and truth to worship Him?
Yep.
That's the worshipers He's looking for, the ones who's worshiping in spirit and in truth. And it says, and now, brother, behold, what glory, and see the people that cometh from the east.
This is deep, family.
Deep.
What was that, 2nd Esdras?
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 1. Here to verse 31 through 38.
I don't know if you want to add something. I want to touch on something right quick.
Add.
Verse 32. This stood out to me, family. Well, it started at 31. It says, when you offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. For your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcisions have I forsaken. I have sent unto you my servants, the prophets whom you have taken and slain and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, said Yahuwah. Now, why that stood out to me? Because, family, you have some people in the truth, like we say a lot of times too, some are like law, 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 law. We talked about this last week when they killed Yahushua during the Passover, acting wickedly.
Yes.
We talked about Passover coming up, and some did it already, some it's coming up, some already celebrated it. You keeping those things if you don't know what you're doing, but you're acting wickedly. You keeping these things wickedly. You hate your brother. That means nothing to Yah. This is spiritual, family.
We actually just seen something like that, and we're not going to say any names, but of a feud that is going on between some brothers in the walk. And they were actually in the process. They were actually celebrating Passover.
Exactly. So what was the Passover? Why did they celebrate it?
And they're feuding back and forth. During their Passover.
So you think y'all gonna honor that?
This is why we say start on the inside. Let Yah cleanse you from the inside out. Start there first. It is spiritual.
But guess what? To the outside world, oh, they look like they keeping it. Because they brag, law, law, law.
Right.
They keeping it. But that heart's still wicked, fam. That's why we saying be careful. We saying don't holler out. Yah, give me a king. Yah, you are my king. I'm gonna go to you. But because just like how you gave that example about the brothers, one of the brothers is like, you know what? Now he realizing, man, I made a mistake. I put man before Yah. Now I'm going in the word myself and seeing, you know what? Nah, the word say this. You say you follow the scriptures, pastor, but you're not really following the scriptures. The scriptures say this. We could shortcut all that, family. Let's go straight to the book, off the rip.
Right.
We don't have to deal with the other stuff. That's what we saying, family.
And that should be a warning if you have a pastor that is coming across as a king or somebody who's lording over you. That should be a warning.
In fact, let's read that. Let's read that. 1 Peter chapter 5, starting at verse 1. This is how our leaders are supposed to conduct themselves. This is how they are supposed to do it according to the scriptures. We just read how Yahushua said it. We just said, according to Ezra, how Yah looks at it. Yah said, you're supposed to believe in me, not even looking for no signs. Not even looking for no works or none of that. You're just supposed to believe. That's what I said earlier. You have to put in your mind that, you know what? Even if I'm by myself, I will believe.
Yes.
This is who Yah is looking for. Let's look at that scripture. 1 Peter chapter 5, starting at verse 1. It says, the elders who are among you, I exhort. I who am a fellow elder and a witness of the sufferings of Mashiach, and also a partaker of the esteem that will be revealed. Shepherd the flock of Yah which is among you, serving as overseers, not by compulsion, but willingly. Not like you forced to do it, but you have to have the will to want to do it.
Right.
You're willingly doing it. You know what? I'm serving Yah by doing this.
Right.
Not for dishonest gain, but eagerly. I'm not going to use this position for gain. So that I can lord over you like how what Saul was doing.
Right.
Saul like, y'all going to plow my fields.
Right.
I'm going to take the best things what y'all have.
Right.
Y'all giving everything to me.
Right.
Nor as being lords, nor as being masters over those entrusted to you, but being examples to the flock. This is what we're talking about, family. But being an example. So this is what we're supposed to see when we're looking for people who we want to be a part of their congregations, or we want to be in that assembly. Does the leader, is he an example to the flock? Or is he the position going to his head? Does he want to rule everybody? Does he want to be like Saul?
Right. Right.
And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that does not fade away. Listen to this, family. Verse 5. Likewise, you younger people, submit yourselves to your elders. Yes, all of you be submissive to one another and be clothed with humility. For Yah resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. This is something that we always talk about. Yah wants us all to be humble, family. We all have to be submissive to each other. Really, none of us are supposed to be putting ourselves in a situation where, oh, nah, he think he better than me. It's not supposed to be like that. We all supposed to be submissive and knowing each other's role. That's what the scripture says. If we all in the body, each person in the body has their role. We're all supposed to know our role. We're going to all have different gifts. But we use those gifts to edify the body. That's submitting ourselves to one another. It says 6. Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of Yah, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. That's the warning, family. He's going around trying to devour each and every one of us. He wants to sift each and every one of us as wheat, family, but we have to resist him. Steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same sufferings are experienced by your brotherhood in the world, that may Yahuwah of all grace, who called us to his eternal glory by Yahushua HaMashiach, after you have suffered a while, perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. To him be the glory and the dominion forever and ever. Amen. It's deep, family. It's telling us we have to resist them. And that's part of that resistance, family. We have to resist the doubting, the doubtful mind, not eating off of too many tables. All these things, family, is very, very, very important. We talked earlier about how Yahushua is coming back for those who have faith, for those who have belief. This is what we have to always hold fast to, family. He's not coming back for knowledge. He's not coming back because we're sitting under a certain assembly. He's not coming back because we're sitting under a certain leader. When he comes back, he's looking for those. Will he find faith on earth? He talks about it in Luke 18, verse 8. In Luke chapter 18, verse 8, he says, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he really find faith on the earth? Will he find faith? Will he find belief in you, family? This is what he's looking for. This is what he's looking for, and that's the question you have to ask yourself. Do I really believe, or I'm still doubting? I'm still straddling the fence. I'm still lukewarm. Family, we do not want to be lukewarm.
No.
We do not want to be lukewarm.
No.
We have to turn that temperature up, family.
If we go
we have to be hot.
Yes, and we look at the examples of the martyrs, those who stood for Yah.
Yes.
They were not lukewarm.
No.
They stood for Yah, and they didn't come across as though I'm scared of this truth, or I'm this, and like just afraid of it. They were bold in it. They were like, I know who my Father is. They were confident in Yah, not themselves, but in Yah.
Absolutely. Let's see the warning that's for those lukewarm believers. It talks about it in Revelation. We're going to close with this scripture, family, and we want to read a poem from our sister, Tequila, and it fits right along with this lesson, family.
Yes, and we want you all to stick through to the end. Stick with us.
One of her beautiful poems.
Yes.
Let's read Revelation chapter 3, speaking about that lukewarm believer. Starting at verse 14. You want to read that?
It says, and to the angel of the assembly of Laodiceans, right? Laodiceans, right?
Laodiceans.
These things says the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of Yah. I know your works, that you are neither cold or hot. I could wish you were cold or hot. So then, because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of my mouth.
This is Yahuwah speaking, family. Yahuwah said, I'm going to vomit you out of my mouth because you are neither one. You are lukewarm. You're not hot, you're not cold. You know what? It's true stuff I don't know.
Because you say I am rich, have become wealthy, and have need of nothing, and do not know that you are wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. I counsel you to buy from me. Buy from me gold refined in the fire, that you may be rich, and white garments, that you may be clothed, that the shame of your nakedness may not be revealed, and anoint your eyes with eye salve, that you may see. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Therefore be zealous and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in to him and dine with him, and he with me. To him who overcomes, I will grant to sit with me on my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the assemblies. So he said to he who overcome, and he said he overcame. And so we got to remember what he overcame.
Right.
That was nothing smooth. And
Absolutely.
he said, if they persecuted you, they're going to, if they persecuted me,
right,
they're going to also persecute you.
Yes.
He said, a servant is not greater than his master. So that means we got to expect the same type of suffering, the same things that was going on with Yahushua. And that's the thing right there. We have to endure. When they say endure to the end, he who endures to the end shall be saved. That's the endurance.
Yep. Because a religious walk, family, that's a cakewalk.
It's a cakewalk.
That's a cakewalk, family. Oh, yes. Everybody accepts religion.
Yes.
You're not getting no persecution because you calling on JC.
Right.
That's why many people still hold on to JC, because everybody still accepts it.
Right.
You're not getting persecuted for that.
No.
That's the easy way.
Easy.
Yeah, that's everybody do it. So what? It's nothing special. Says we have to overcome, just like he has overcome. And like Sister Abiya said, this walk will not be easy. It's a part of it. It comes with the walk. We have to understand that.
It's a scripture.
We have to grasp it, yes, but we have to understand too that we have to be hot. Because if we lukewarm, the scripture said, the scripture said he coming back for those that have faith. You don't have faith if you lukewarm. The scripture just said it.
Right.
You have to be one or the other.
Dibbling and dabbling.
Yes, you have to be. you might as well just be cold. If you're not going to accept it and go full blast with it, you might as well just be cold. He wants us to be hot.
Right.
So that was our lesson, family. You want to read Tequila's poem?
Yes.
It goes perfectly with what we're talking about. Beautiful poem from our sister.
Yes.
She shared it and she wanted us to share it. Yes. And then we thought
well,
it was
actually,
powerful.
no, she shared it and I said we was going to share it. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Because she shared it with us. And we just want to thank you, sis, for your beautiful poems that you sent.
Mm-hmm.
And this one here, we found a blessing to us, and we want to bless others with the poem that you have blessed us with. We want to bless the body with it, because this can also apply to all of us in this walk.
Absolutely.
And it says, this is from our sister Tequila Perry that's given her testimony. And it says, choosing the right road for your life is good for your soul. When life throws you sticks and bricks, duck and dodge, but don't you quit. When life seems too much to bear, so-called friends no longer there. Don't you quit. You're in Yahuwah's care. Your blessings is coming. Hang in there. I know you feel like you should quit, but hold on. You are almost out of it. The forest of life is dark and thick, but Yahuwah's light is bright. Just follow it. I know how hard it can get, but push hard as you can. Just don't quit. Your life depends on it. If Yahuwah you trust, then pushing is a must. Leave your own life behind and embrace the new, which will change your mind. A new walk and a new talk. No longer living blind. You must pass the hard times. You made it through. Now enjoy your peace of mind. This was beautiful.
Don't quit, family.
Don't quit.
Don't quit. We have to endure till the end.
Yes. Follow Yahuwah through Yahushua.
Yes. Don't get shipwrecked, family. Do not get shipwrecked. Because there's, what Sister Abiyah said, there are plenty of false prophets out there, family, that want to make us doubt, that want us to stray away. They call this the information age. Information around every click, not around every corner, every click. You have to say, you know what, Yah, you brought me here. I've accepted your truth. Right. And nobody's going to deter me from it. Yes. I know religion, what they teaching in religion, that's not true. They got some truth, but it's not the whole truth. Right. So, I just want to say this too while we wrapping up, that I think we had said this before, but please remember that this walk is not a religion. This is not what this is. It's not another denomination. Right. This is a way of life. It is simply just following what Yah said. This is what he always wanted us to do. Follow his Ruach. Follow through Yahushua HaMashiach that dwells in us. Follow his Ruach. Live according to his ways. Be obedient to the voice of Yah. Absolutely. This is what he always desired for us. Absolutely. So we thank you all, family, again. My brothers, if you want to share your testimony, definitely email. We need some more brothers. We have a lot of beautiful sisters. We need some brothers too. We know we got some brothers, some powerful brothers out here that hey. Right. Share your testimony. I know y'all did some things. Yes, y'all did some things for each and every one of us. So we all come from something. Let's esteem him. Let's give him all the praise. This is all for him. Yes. This is all for him. It's not about us. Exactly. I used to say this saying, the mercy, the grace, it didn't stop when he gave it to us. Right. He's like, oh, I poured this on you. You know what? No, the other people, they ain't getting nothing. Right. Nah, it's for everybody. It's for everybody. It's for everybody. We all had to go through certain steps and certain things in our lives for Yahuwah to get us to this point. Absolutely. So and we just want to thank our moderators. Thank y'all for helping us. And thank you all. It's helping so many people that follow along. We appreciate you all. Now they can see the scriptures. So we definitely thank you for helping. Thank you very much, all of you. Doing y'all's work. Yes. So we definitely appreciate the help. Yes. And to all our supporters, we thank you all those that's in the membership and all that stuff. We are so thankful to all of you. That's been a blessing to us, and let Yah continue to bless you and your family, because family, we pray for all of y'all.
Yes.
All of you all, guys. Yes. So thank you all, family, and we will talk to you on the next video. Shalom.
Shalom.